Our theme is love, and how a love affair need not be with any particular person. You could have a great love affair with life itself. Thank you, Sadhguru. Yes, and when you have no more fear, and that's not the physical one. No, I have plenty of fear when it comes to I don't want to physically die. I don't want to be in physical peril. Okay, so fear, the emotion of certain, like our brain wanting certainty, that's a fear that consistently stays because, your body, well, it is alive. So if I plug your nose, you actively will try to get rid of that. But there's another fear that all of those who follow those people in nice suits who are eloquently using their words, yes, so they call, for example, 5D mystics who are in the Enlightenment Soul Age group and solo polyamory. Well, we get called between whores, masochists, evil witches, and bitches. And what was it? The recent one that got me was Luciferian and bad psychologists. I was like, wow, we don't replace the bad psychologists. They're all out there with their fancy suits, actively being interviewed by people. And there's actively other people who believe yoga brings demons out of you because there's actively ignorant religious people, like completely. They will talk about their faith, and I'll be like, yeah, you have fear ruling you and a shame button. But I won't tell you. No, I will if you ask me, but no, will I? No, because see, I'm a smart human being. I have people that are smart, and they're smarter than me. So I know what one true love is. I'm a feminine. I'm not a fake one. I'm a real one. Not because I'm a woman, no, because I actively know what pure consciousness is. Jesus introduced it to me. So did God. And then I continued to be smart because I don't have that fear called shame. You see, that's the defectiveness button of the 1 to 3 year olds, and then they continue to have the defectiveness button, and then they grow up to 4 and 7 years, yeah, and then the teenagers. So the fancy men and women in suits that eloquently use their words, or the other ones, because I mean, we have two types of the 7 to 14 charming. In either or cases, a true feminine knows how to use the body, and that's not to wield it in any torture chamber shit way. No, that actively happened in our ancestors' past. So see, a feminine that is a mystic. We also see our past lives. I've seen many of them, lots of them. It's amazing. For a 5D body type is what I call the body that has no shame button. So you push that. Oh my God, and you just use whatever fancy word you want. I'll be like, huh. I didn't even know about this whole thing with love bombing. Like, no, I like courtship. And if somebody is a pretendo courter, I'll know because they'll flake. So that's right. Yes, our biggest love affair, in fact, with the feminine, that's the part. A true feminine, they know what belief is and faith and breath. Oh, and the social engagement system. So please do remember to hold compassion for those who navigate the hellhole of their body in shame and for the ones who follow them, and remember the law takes care of it. So name calling doesn't work for actively empowered women, men, and theys, yes, actively. So they're self-empowered and enlightened. So they're not part of the societal soul age group. Yes, the social soul age group, there's different soul age groups. I've spotted them, and the relationship soul age group. They keep learning about the self, so their own, use your human name, please. Being yourself, you use your human name. Once you overflow in humanity, divinity descends. It's not because of, in the sense of you're godlike, because, well, then again, I don't like to use those words because there's the people from the 3D, 4D who really misinterpret. So let me use it this way. Thanks, Dr. Daniel Siegel. Smart human beings. Oh, and Stephen Porges. So when somebody is coming up to you, let's say they want to provoke or they want to engage in a way that is rigid and chaotic. I have a dumb idiot in front of me. I'm a dumb idiot because I'm an active mule in that I know Maria back and front and all the way through. And when I find out something new about me, which I did recently, thanks, Dr. Dan, I was like, oh, that's so cute. I did notice that about me. And I have confirmed something that a very smart human being friend of mine has shared with me. And then that also another smart human being person of mine has shared with me, and a lot more. Oh, my herd. I'm so sorry. Because, see, mindful listening and true empowerment means that I don't take it personally. I don't need to be told it. I notice if I'm whining like a teenager. I know what. So I noticed it with my teenage girlfriends. We were whining about our households not welcoming us as we are. And I'm like, well, that really doesn't matter. I mean, we're all different. I know that it doesn't mean defective. It does not. The only ones who feel defective are the same ones who have hell in their body and then they prance around with other, lost boys, lost girls. And actively, when you watch Hook, you will notice how Peter Pan leaves because their parents are already talking about what the fuck he's going to do when he grows up. Let me think about trauma and attachment and information from my smart people. That's right. Where are you, Robert Sapolsky? I know you want to try and prove God doesn't exist. You can't actively cannot do that, but still, I get it. And yes, your information, very valuable. So your first 3 years of life, they do matter. And when someone says, I found it hard to believe, you say, sure, you very beautiful human being, Cusco. See you later, narrow state of consciousness. I'm going to go to the expanding ones who know true love. So, I know you. I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you. The gleam in your eyes is so familiar. A gleam. Yes, the feminine knows who her oversoul is, and we don't do the pretendo feminine stuff because, porous boundaries are for low self-esteem people who could use Patrick Tiahan. So they can prance around with other people and get healed. And when they're ready, if they're ever ready to forgive the unfortunate business of all that is the shame button. Because, see, I know that our ancestors have shame. You know why? See, I learned from smart people, not the ones who taint their mouth and then think that by dressing up with suits and being as eloquent as can be. Because, see, the only people who are fooled by facades are the same ones who don't go within here. And notice we all are imperfect and flawed. Did nobody hear what Jesus said about forgiving and turning the other cheek? Find it hard to believe. Yeah, I get to use my brain because I love to learn. Hey, Sadhguru, you would really do a lot better if you also learned about psych education because the inner child of every person is what leads them until they are maybe leading. Yeah, you can get here. It's called mindfully being aware of yourself like I am. And no perfection, just really, really fun time because my 3-year-old isn't defective, nor is yours. The ones who actively feel that humans should be shamed, there's another martyr superior, and they bite the dust every time. I get humored by the minute by Cusco's because I actively know when their tone is beginning to be like, how dare you? Because I've had the honor of having conversations with people who put Strombolis on pedestals and they actively allow themselves to be fooled by those same Strombolis with the fear thing that I was telling you about. Yeah, let's go read that one because that one's really great. This quote that I shared however many years ago because I did study political science. Oh, yes, and international relations and diplomacy for a reason. And then I found out how many more facades we have and why facades follow facades. That's called shame. Every one of those people who don't own their brain, they could use Pat Ogden. They could use Bezel van der Kolk. They could use a lot of therapy. It would be really cool. Or they can prance around and have solace with those 7 to 14 charming and keep on thinking they know everything. And we're just going to watch from afar because what a feminine does know is life. No auto-destruct button. So sorry that delusion of shame and defectiveness taints the eyes of even the most, no, if they're intelligent, they actively know what I'm talking about. So that's the part. I already know intelligence when I meet it. It's open-hearted people with active brains that work. The 3-year-old is very uninteresting when their 16-year-old is spiting the adult who didn't give them unconditional love, which is why you get an attitude with me, which is why you're nothing more than a low self-esteem person who doesn't know how to have a conversation. You actively don't know how to talk in my face. You think I find it humorous? No, I had my teenage boyfriend with all my friends, and then I got a round 2 with my one friend that I didn't talk to for 5 years. And by that time, my friend helped me know what clowns are. And that's why I said, oh, that's good. I learned it with you. We love learning about not mistakes in the way that the masculine and pretendo feminines do. They do things based on a active squirrel attitude. It's really sad. It's called, I have the capacity to consistently attract to me that which my home gave me and my childhood wound, what I got at home, I'm going to project upon all people. And as Dr. Daniel Fox informs us, imagine a person who trusts a kind human being less. Imagine a person who treats partnerships like battlefields. Imagine a teenager like Elsa on her journey. There's energy vampires. Cut the cord. There, you need your protection spell. Use some egg bomb or whatever. Okay, so here, this is Bertrand Russell. Again, if you're 5D, you're following as a mystic. This is who that's for, because they will obviously know. Like, why are you talking about our brothers and sisters like that? You didn't meet Jesus, did you? Or maybe you just didn't know. I can't tell you. You want to be a princess, and you want to be a prince. And then you want to go and be power couples and look cute while you are depending on each other in a way that's just attachment and bondage is misery. What? Oh, that's why it's hard to keep the relationship. That's what it looks like to me. I see someone say, I know how to teach you how to be empowered. This is a woman who apparently thinks this is empowering. She's another one. The Venus, a goddess of May, is just, I just love, she looks like Venus. This other one looks like a rock star, Gem, that is what she looks like. It's true. And then she's like, it takes a lot of work. My life is devoted to one person. And I'm like, wow. Oh no, I really, really hope that that one human being makes it. And I'm not kidding, but the way you made it sound that it's hard work, I'm like, wow, that's not fun. I have a lot of fun with my partners, and I'm polyamory. Again, we have secure attachment, though, so we're not afraid of losing each other. Excuse me, did I lose you? Where'd you go? No, shit, let me grab that leash. So, when you're feminine, you ain't putting no masculine on a leash. You're like, okay, hey, go hop that fence. No, they hop it. Are you sure you want to go down there? I'm pretty sure there's a stromboli that's going to make you think you're rich, but it's not. They're going to be a pretend. No. So what you learn from smart people, Patrick Tiahan, come on in, is that confusion leads to childhood trauma. The person that has it, that doesn't go to good therapy, when they do start, then they can take all the time they want and be with people that actively know how to heal. And that's really nice. I'm happy that people can treat each other better and stop being in codependent, very awful, like meshing relationships and think that those are power couples. Yes. So we are going to have, as always, the lovely globe doesn't change, not unless you're a flat earther. Uh, or your science is people who are using AI to disprove reality. So if you're one of those, you're gonna, I don't know, you might enjoy me too, because if you're enjoying that chit chat, why wouldn't you enjoy me? I laugh because I remember basic biology. And I'm like, I'm really not smart with regurgitation of material, but I can tell bullshit. It doesn't matter if it looks like an evil. No, there's no evil. I told God, I said, I don't see, I see human suffering, and I got it confirmed. You have a fear receptor in your brain. Thanks, Patrick McNamara. And it goes wonky when your brain's trying to heal from trauma. It's not funny business. That's why the hurt people hurt people. Nope. The I need boxing gloves. Nope again. What was it? I'm a special anointing. Nope, not really. Wait, go be ordinary first, please. Go and get the emotions. Then, when and if you want, you can come and join Human Love Narrative, because we're gooey, and you will be like, yeah, and we'll be like, ah, and so that's how it works. When you human love, if you want suffering, there's a Zen master for you. He talks to you all about how the laundry in your body, and that's for people who don't want to do not. Mindfulness, mindset, mindsight is what we do here. I'm a mentor and content creator for people who want to do the work with their own self. Again, being yourself always. That's why we have flaws. I got plenty of them. But it's only because, there are other people out there. I respect the law. I respect physical boundaries. And then I apologize for when I meet teenagers who actively have eggshells all around them. I put the eggshell back. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. I say, okay, I'm so sorry. And then I move far, far, far away, and I don't come back. Now, if they come searching for me, I say, look, your eggshell, I'm going to break it again because, see, I don't know how to work my filter. I don't have one. So you get to decide. I will let you know. Here's the Maria list of expectations of what I am. No filters at all. I actively will be told, Maria, come on. So sorry. I don't know how to do that. You're not trying. No, I actively don't. I don't want to. How does that sound? I'm okay with you not liking me, is what I'm trying to say. I'm here to live freely, according to the law, freely. So I don't need to make friends with people I don't like. Is that not okay? I got rejected when I was 4. Boys said I was too serious, so they sent me home crying. I wasn't taking it personally. I got explained, you're too serious when you grow up. That's why I meet smart people now. These smart ones are emotionally intelligent as well. Otherwise, they're not smart. So, fear, Bertrand Russell. Let's talk about this. But if thought is to become possession of many, not the privilege of the few, we must have done with fear. He's saying we need to be closed with it. Now, I don't know how to translate all the rest, but that part I understand very much. And so, as long as you have, how dare you take all that ancient scripture and rip it up? I didn't rip it up. You're interpreting it erroneously. Your subjective reality is tainted by your 1-year-old who did not get securely attached, your 3-year-old who has a shame button and defectiveness. I can tell because you talk about the human species as if it has no kindness in it, and that's an exaggeration, because any smart grown-up person who knows consciousness in their brain will know, okay, come on. Please calm down, Cusco. We are all different. Now, we know you don't like to hear ordinary because you know that shame button really gets this. So, you know what I'm sad about? It's sad that people that are in this energy actively don't get to be their inner child. But on that note, it actively doesn't matter what I say because love is not the way they choose. They choose fear. And then they got the 7 to 14 charming that they follow. So, as this man continues to say, it is fear that holds men back. Fear lest their cherished beliefs should prove delusions. Yes, delusional. So sciences does not disprove God, but sciences does prove that there's no monsters that take over a human being, that they have a self. Good science is people of mental health. Okay, so no need to demonize or romanticize, which is what actively any sales pitch will do. And that's because they have an in-group. And a 14-month-old actively studies show that they will play nice with a teddy bear that likes the same cereal. They will play not nice. Actively, they will play hostile and less with a teddy bear that doesn't like the same cereal. This is empowering information. You can own your brain, and you can own your mind, and you can own your body if you choose to stop pouting like a 16-year-old with a 3-year-old that has a broken heart that doesn't have a good therapist, which is where all of those who don't know that love is easy, they can go. Otherwise, they'll know that, wow, this is really great. Finally, we get to chit chat like normal people again, because that's what's actively happening, by the way. All the accumulated information in the past years made it very clear to me what I already knew as a kid when I told God there's no evil, but there's suffering. And if ever evil presents itself, I know what I'm meant to do because Jesus taught me. And I know that I'm an ordinary human being and I will be humble, independently from spiritual gifts or clairs, and sciences explains all of it. The neuroscientists know about the relational field. They know how our brain works in flow, and I know how it feels to be consistently on in flow, and it's amazing, and what a true feminine is. She's a nurturer. And Rabbi, no, we don't grab you by a leash. We say, you're beautiful. You are the contribution to this planet. Now, meaning, see, you wake up in your own brain in the morning, and I have this hint, neuroplastic agent like you do. It's called imagination. So wield your sword very carefully. And that means use your lovely neutral brain with your thoughts and emotions, with your body, to do good. Good means open-hearted love. That's all good means. Bad means that you are actively going to trip somebody and laugh at them. Bad means you're going to poke me on purpose because it gives you a rise. Bad, quote unquote, means you have a closed heart, you have a shame button, you feel, you are upset, you need a lollipop. No, you don't. Because as you're growing up, your maladaptive and adaptive child behaviors are all Pinocchio on that island with the donkeys. Okay, so as I like to use different stories, it's not evil Lucifer, no matter how many times those 4D mystics call Luciferian era. They surprise me. Okay, let me continue. So delusions, the thing that makes me humored is they don't know of our actual angels and prophets, what they stood for. When I'm seeing any of those mystics do fear-mongering from their mouths, the sciences people already knew what they did, because, again, a person of faith will hear the sciences people. You cannot disprove God. You cannot disprove faith. Same thing, though. Scientists can't say, I have never met a medium ever. Wow, really? You really don't know Sabine with existential physics, by the way. She answers a question because a shaman told a person who she got to ride in a taxi with about how his grandma's still alive thanks to quantum physics. So the people who don't like, all of it coming together, they're called non-integrated brains. That's why they have a hard time. Their right mode is not actively participating. So they don't know how to sit with A, B, C, D and say, ooh, I got a bunch of pieces of information. I'm so curious. And here's curious, open, accepting, loving. Oh, look, now, present. All these words, I read them before. Now I know how to explain them. And that's for the lovely 5D collective. Okay, so let's love. So when we make mistakes, we say we're sorry. And we find the people that we can actively say, you know what? I'm so sorry. I have a good friend of mine. I actively accused him of something. And by the third time, because he knows I don't know how to tell when he's joking, like anybody else who gets to know me. So I actively won't know if you're joking. And when in a good mood, it's great. When people are in a bad mood, not so great. But it's okay. It's why. See, I know that a person who's that, if you're upset today, and my 3-year-old brain is actively acting like a 3-year-old, you're going to be like, okay, not today, Maria. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to go. And that's how we don't take things personally. So it is fear that holds people back completely. Yes, the shame button, not fear, because physical fear is active. Good body. Good. When they surprised me, I headed towards the door. Okay, fear lest their cherished beliefs should be delusional, be proven. Yes, which is why they're holding on to the vengeful gods. Some of these, no, all of those people that are actively, to me, not in any way, shape, or form connected to the God that I got taught or the Holy Spirit. None of it. Declares our spiritual gifts. The only reason the in groups of all they stay separate is because they have ego. No, you can't be us. We have to be special. We have to be special. I see you didn't understand that we're all brothers and sisters. Yes, you keep wielding your mouth. The only people who believe you are the same narrow states of consciousness who don't know how to expand their brain. In fact, they'll let us know that our brain's falling out of our ass, and we'll say, yes, it is. So much so that I think I'm going to go and have fun with the ones that our brain is falling out of our ass, because we are not looking for the planet being flat, for the let's make reality not real. Oh, we're actively not concerned with any of what seems to be the gladiator and entertainment, right? Entertaining people. So the pseudo live human beings who have the shame button, that's why they're teenagers who act like they're badass. They really aren't. And the law will take care of all of it. So let's see. Fear lest the institutions by which they live should prove harmful. Yes, so these human beings that are fancy with suits, well, they definitely are pretty annoying. We're going to fix in time that, because we are more conscious, the mature emotionally and mentally speaking people. We have a buttload of them. I love this political science dude as he makes a buttload of sense as he's talking. Fear lest they themselves should prove less worthy of respect than they have supposed themselves to be. Yes, so the fancy men with suits and the women with suits, they actively think that they're respectable. Remember to properly sit, women and men and gents, and remember to look good, because a book, its cover, oh, it says everything about you. Yeah, so says the eyes that are blind to the heart that instead can hear, and that's why we know what true love is. And I do love my humor today, I have to say. Where are you, Sadhguru? I want one of his quotes, even though I could quote this, but I don't want to make it into that. That would not create a very good. Yeah, we'll leave that one alone. But I saw a quote today. Inclusiveness is not an ideology or philosophy. It is a way of life. Yes, and the smart people know how to do it, which is why, again, we all know that we can make mistakes. We can say we're sorry, and that we care about each other. And that inner and outer well-being involves air, water, food. Oh, and when it comes to, what was it? Mistakes. Yes, we all make them. Nobody is their biggest mistake. So a feminine will know that, which is why even the person who will have killed is not their biggest mistake. And this is not lack of imagination. The people who don't understand when they use words and then they use evil is that the lack of imagination is theirs. They have a nightmare and that's it. They don't have the other end of the spectrum. So they're using their brain and they're wielding their sword with the very same shame cycle they began, unfortunately, life with. No, they didn't. There was a rupture, that something sacred was taken. So it's unfortunate business. They don't want to look at the attachment system of theirs and at their home, because they're playing out the very thing that they experienced in this lifetime. Now, oh, I know all about past lifetimes. Sure. But one, a feminine who knows about past lifetimes will not be looking at it as, oh my God. No, because if you're a mystic, well, I'm in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, you're not actually thinking, oh my God, what did I uncover? In fact, I've seen so many in my lifetimes, and one of them, the reason I contemplated it is because it's a sad death. It's a very sad death. And it actively made sense when I got all the rest of my channeled past life downloads, and also the person that is a part of them. And it is consistently mesmerizing, I think is the right word. It's something amazing when you are connected to understanding how Dharma works, how you do every lifetime process charges and expand. And I am in this lifetime Maria, and that is the name that matters the most. And then I'm a mystic and I'm a spiritual self-help, personal development coach, content creator, all the fancy words, but sharing my light worker, mystic stuff. And I'm not comfortable yet completely organizing it, because this is the part, it's ordinary. It is not meant to sound like it's something supernatural, because it's not. And so I'm trying to bring all of it together for the 5D mystics too, so that they can hear what will resonate true, because their ears will already know that they're not anointed, that they didn't get the short end of the stick actively when I've heard 4D mystics talk about themselves as if they suffer more than another human being emotionally because you have clairs. You don't hear yourself, but then again, you're a Cusco. You're a teenager like Cusco when he's crying about it finally when he awakens to the truth of what he's done eventually, after having committed all those very unnecessary, unkind behaviors with Pacha. So here's what a feminine can tell you. Emperor's New Groove. The first time I watched it, this is how my eyes watched it. When he makes his promise and Cusco says, or Pacha says, don't shake if you don't mean it. I, Maria, your host, actively thought, I don't remember how old I was whenever Cusco came out. I'm from 1980s, do the math. The Emperor's New Groove. I actually believed Cusco. I was surprised when he did the 360. And then I was like, that's shitty. He told you, don't promise if you don't mean it. And then Pacha did what was awesome. Now, see, that's impressive to feminine, because that's what love is all about. When he got off of that bridge, although we do know Cusco saved him. So there's somebody who would say, what if he hadn't? So you can bring all those other hypotheticals, okay? But I'm saying the way he said, one, everyone has a heart. I've been taught it. You're a person. He doesn't say it that way, but he says, you have a heart. I know you do. Actively, a person who's a feminine, who's connected to this sphere, this essence of love and life, will not ever forget. Here, you feel it here. You look in the eyes of a person, and I've said this to another person that is a mystic, as they tried to tell me that people hold evil within them. And I said, no, they hold shame. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's because people don't think they need therapists, and they go out and they get busy and they actively waste their life like Pinocchio on that island. And then they want to act like they know what the fuck they're talking about. And he says, keep talking. You're wasting your life every day more by not going, one, to get therapy, getting yourself into moderation, and then getting yourself in actively, truly loving relate. It's a really sad business, by the way, because their body never experiences returning home to where the body is wanting to bring you in the first place, to your restorative embodiment self. That will be your homeostasis. So anyone who's attachment trauma informed then is bringing all this together, shares with you the same. I learned from a lovely lady who has a 12-step program. Hopefully one day I can take that to expand supporting people, because she helps people with addictions, and I find it very beautiful. And I want to help more people. And those people, there are some that I see how much they struggle with drugs and alcohol, the ones who want to get better, and then that they still have pent up anger. And that's fair. That's why Patrick Tiahan is needed, because the person who's had a childhood where they were not welcome, they have anger. Imagine, and I don't know you, I don't have this, but imagine awakening to the fact that you've treated people poorly and you've been losing and wasting life because of trauma from your own home, which is not something you were supposed to get in the first place. Okay, so put all the beliefs, that's why all of the belief systems, you put them to the side. Imagine you awakening to this truth. I'm pretty sure I'd be pretty pissed, which is why some people don't even want to admit it, because they feel like they're betraying their own family, which also makes sense to a person who's a member of a herd again, because you're going to be like, yeah, that totally, I would not want to feel that way. It's my column, your family, your parents, your siblings, whoever it is, whatever it is, it's your column. This is the only truth you've known. It has so many layers to it. To a person who feels, all of them make sense. And the true feminine is a clear slate, because we are not putting our own opinions, the subjective of thought and feeling. I'm actively able to say, put to the side, Maria, your stuff, and I can feel things, although I'll say I won't ever know the truth of that, because I have no ill will. Not because of anything except for I got lucky. So I don't have this thing. I won't want to think ill of you. I will rather you present it to me, and then my eyes will see, and then I will know. And once I know what you're made of, and then I know, obviously, how to handle, because it's not a physical. No physical. It's emotional and mental. So worst case scenario, what do? You ghost, you gaslight, what do you manipulate? What are you doing with your little mouth? Something special? You're not going to be doing anything special to a person who has a good gut. Physical is the one thing that a person who has had a healthy self-worth environment, woman, man, they can all tell you, mystic doesn't matter. You have a good gut when you were given a child-centric environment, and you'll know because your body does protect you. Your body and your brain protect you. There's two sides to that coin. The ones of us who are protecting our physical life, and that's when you know love, that you don't act with the biases, you don't act with the 16-year-old, you don't act in an adaptive child little attitude like a Cusco, you act like a functional adult who knows I have a subjective reality, and you don't get pissed about it. That's it. Beliefs, politics, doesn't matter what it is. So you can make mistakes, you have different opinions. This is the part. No person is going to actively be impeccable with their word. No person is going to always not have some taking it. You don't want to take it personally, but it can become personal. And so being aware of that. Assumptions. We all will have some feelings. We have implicit and explicit biases. So being aware of it, and then, yes, putting the assumptions aside, but not disregarding your own. No, you don't disregard completely anything. You always do the best you can. And so as you experience interactions with people, you learn how to become aware of who they are. Physical is not going to be an issue if you have a healthy sense of self-worth, and it isn't something you want to test out either, by the way. So like for me, I got to grow up in a world that is completely not safe with men. I don't choose the bear, I choose the man. Unless he's a serial killer, then I choose the bear. But I'm just saying, but still in a common sense grounded way, no need for heroics or stupid examples that people that are still teenagers do. You're gonna use common sense. Okay, so I'm 44. I have a certain number of people. They're in my herd. They have been. They continue to be. We've gotten to know each other. We get to know each other, and that is as it comes. When you hear about those stories on TV, on news, right? That is where all of the studies point very much to the same situations, which is where I'm going to have to disengage right now from this. It's also off topic, but you pick the people that you are with. You can only pick the right people if you have healthy self-worth, because you will have worked through whatever shame cycle bit that you will have had that causes self-doubt. If you have a good therapist, if you have one that's good, they will bring you and lead you towards integration of your brain. They will talk to you about it. They will inform you of updated information. They will tell you about restorative embodiment, self-life. They will inform you of all of it. They won't hide it, and they won't give you a pathology. They won't give you a label and say, you won't ever change and heal. And then we have scientists, people with their little lovely scientific report shows narcissists don't really change. And this is a person from the field. And as they're describing the data on the spectrum, you know how the spectrum is. They say spectrum, but it means they don't. And I'm all alone fighting this battle. And actively, the little pity party of this human being who's then educating other human beings who are the same ones who are going to go and say, hey, you're a narcissist. You won't ever change. Wow. You obviously don't know other people. You don't know the smart ones, and you don't know how your brain's made. You don't know what integration is. Oh, but I forgot. Yoga brings demons out you. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, go hang out with the narrow states of consciousness. Have fun, because in the meantime, you're not actively aware of anything about change or consciousness, and some of us instead we are. And that's the part of where sciences works wonders to help a feminine know what she already knew, which is you have love inside of you, but only if you get out of the shame button for those who have childhood trauma. Then you know what love is, and then you might be able to be somebody, no, you will be somebody's partners if you want, partners, and you'll be making mistakes, but you won't be dragging your feet about it. You won't be this Eeyore, and also you know how to say you're sorry. What's up with people not knowing how to say they're sorry? Well, they need therapy first. Also, caring about each other's inner and outer well-being. It's called compersion. I'm humored, to say the least, that polyamory, we get no, it's not a bad rap. I'm just humored. Some think we overestimate the usage of people's brains, which tells me they think they're dumb. That's great to know. You think you don't know how to use your brain. Good. Don't. You're like the Zen master. Laundry. Keep not using your whole brain. There's good therapists for reasons. And then you can continue with mindfulness, mindsight, and mind side practices. But hey, that form and level of intelligence, unless they make it look fancy and pretty, it won't attract you, right? Yeah. So the smart people want well being inside. The ones who actively think that they're badass, being well is fucking boring. I just want to see the person who typed that on a person's page that is healing from narcissism, by the way, and borderline. And so this is where it's very, very upsetting for a person who knows what people are supposed to be doing with their lovely little fancy titles to see them actively doing what they're doing. But I forget, they will be helping the people who don't want to forgive ever, anyone. No, they're home. If you're in a good therapist seat, you're just not going to forgive wherever it is that your trust break and your trauma and all of that. So you're going to say, I don't want to forgive anyone. And there you go. You don't want to forgive. Don't forgive. The ones who are ready to forgive, once they're ready, they say, I want to forgive. That's because they understand we're all imperfect and flawed. Nobody chose to have transgenerational cultural trauma. It's not a choice to have a 1 to 3-year-old that has defectiveness. Now, again, you can deny the sciences and go join the flat earthers. Join the scientist people who are telling us that they want to disprove reality. Oh, they're so funny. So, on that note, when you do know what love is, you walk in dreamland, and it's a real land though. So we will be back with more. Again, saying sorry and caring about each other. It is not going to be a perfect way. Our words, they get mistaken, they get misunderstood, and they will not be perfect. And I didn't realize how many fucking word police people there were out there. Personally, I learned about political correctness. I will only use it if I am actively in that role. Oh, I learned that those people don't use them. So everything I learned about what I was supposed to prepare myself for so that I would be an outstanding candidate. Yeah. Anyone? Bullshit. So don't give me that word and impeccable. This is the one thing. Nitpickers. Yeah, there are other Cuscos. I love that one. That one I found out from another smart person. I'm going to have some fun time as I think up of different types of exercises. And I have realized that I want to do stuff with emotional triggers that are involving not the body, though. No, they're going to involve our lovely little left mode because that left mode likes to come on in and wield its little sword. So the right says, okay, fine, we're going to do some tangoing. Get rid of that sword. And that's because we say that's not a trigger. That's just an emotion. Which one are you? You're obviously going to be anger. Hey, anger, take a step down. No, sadness, it's okay, you can cry. Disgust, fine. We're not going to eat that berry. Don't worry about it. Oh, surprise. Is it a good or is it a fair? Which one? What? Happiness. Come over, happiness. Okay, so long story short, that's how our brains work. They have fun together as they mingle and tingle left and right, the thoughts and emotions. And so with love, the same thing goes. Your partner and or partners don't leave. They don't come in and out and they don't do the silent treatment because that's where those are people who don't know love. They know strombolies. They know how to be used, abused. It's a sad story. Oh, and fall for the charlatans of the 7 to 14 charming who know how to wield their words very effectively, might I add, and dress really pretty. Let's make sure to make I love as a content creator when I see anyone with a fancy background. I'm like, wow. And then they're telling them, get offline. There's some of them, they're out in the forest, in the middle of nowhere. Like, okay, now that one, I'm not going to come looking for you. That's right, the physical safety. So, again, it takes practice to move into your full integrated brain if you want to. We'll be back with more. Have a good one.